The rate at which children are being murdered is becoming so alarming. And in today's video, I just want us to talk about that. And I had posted on my Facebook page asking how long does it take you to introduce your children to your colleagues at your workplace, to your new friends, or maybe to a partner if you happen to be a single parent. How long does it take you to know that this is the right time for me to introduce this child or these children to this particular person? Because I feel like at the end of the day, the people who are hurting these children are not strangers per se. These are people who know these children. These are people who know that the parent is not around. Maybe they know that this person is not under any person's care, because we have had horrific stories of people murdering children, which is it's so unfortunate. Like people are so merciless nowadays, for lack of a better word. In the level of inhumanity that is in people, it's on another level, because a person who can go ahead and hurt a child, an innocent child, only God knows what would be going on through that someone's or that person's mind. So in today's video, that is what I want us to talk about. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, kindly consider doing that. My name is Esther Njao, and welcome to today's video. Now let's get straight to the question that I had asked in my introduction. Like, what is the right time for you to introduce your children or your child to the people who are close to you? New friends, or maybe friends, colleagues at your workplace, or even partners. And is it even right for you to introduce them in the first place? Because most of the times, I personally, I don't rush to introduce my children to, especially colleagues, unless they visited and met them, which I don't think a child has a memory to remember all those people when they meet them once. And for friends, I feel like you need to take ample time until you get to know this person. Because I said, and I'm going to say again, no stranger is going to hurt your child. A person who goes ahead and hurts your child is a person knows knows all your ways. Like, they know you are here at this particular time, they know you are not around, maybe they know your every move. Because there was an incident I heard of last, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, of a parent who had gone out for business, and they had left their class 7 child at home alone. And it's so unfortunate that, like, someone came and murdered that girl and just left that lifeless child there and just went. So this can tell you that this person knew that this child is alone. This person knew that this child is helpless, and they knew there is nobody around to defend this child, and they took advantage of that. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, the people who are hurting your children are not strangers, unless it's a house help who just we've heard of house helps who have murdered children, who is not a stranger. The other stories we've heard are people, mostly even relatives, friends, ex-friends, let me call them that, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I shared something with a friend of mine, and before I could explain, she was like, "You're being too much." And what I was telling her is that the moment we are no longer friends, I tell my children that. And let me explain why. I don't tell them in a bad way, like, so and so is no longer my friend, so and so is a bad person. What happened between us will remain between us. But what I let them realize is that so and so should not call you, should not take you maybe out. Because the moment a child knows that you're her parent's friend, they take you as a parent. Do you I hope you understand where I'm coming from. This child, you can take this child wherever without the presence of the mom, because the mom has already introduced, or maybe the dad has introduced this child to their friend, so they know this is mommy's friend or this is daddy's friend. So when the relationship dies, or when the friendship dies, make sure you talk to your children. Talk to them in a way they are going to understand. Make sure that they know that so and so is no longer mommy's friend, so and so is no longer daddy's friend. And in case they ask you to go with them, come and ask mommy first, go and ask daddy first before you go with them, or maybe run and come home. Don't let that child, don't ignore the fact that this child has no idea that your friendship is does no longer exist. Let this child know that so and so is no longer a part of this family, is no longer a friend of our family. So in case this person comes calling, let your child run, or maybe scream if they need to, or come home and ask you for permission before they can go. And that also happens to I remember there was a time, when you're walking around and someone just says hi, maybe a person you used to work together, a person maybe you schooled with. My daughter has a tendency of asking me, mommy, is that your friend? Or maybe, mommy, oh, ni rafiki yako. So make sure you tell them. Don't just ignore the fact that you met someone and you just tell them that is my friend. No, make sure you explain to them, that is not my friend, we used to go to school together. That is not my friend, we used to work together, but we no longer do. Let them know who your friends are. Let them know if the friendship no longer exists. Let them know, because at the end of the day, these are the same people who are going to hurt your children. These are the same people who are going to do all those manner of things to your children. And I always say this, you can find out the culprit, but there's nothing you can do about a dead child. Once the child is dead, the child is dead. Whether the person who did it is arrested, whether they were murdered or whatever, the child is dead. That is what I am talking about. It does not matter whether they were caught or anything. The fact remains that your child was hurt, maybe your child was murdered, and there's nothing you can do about it. So for you to prevent all those things and to prevent all that, make sure you tell your child when a friendship is over, kindly talk to them in a simple term. Don't make them hate that person, but let them know that so and so, like I said, is no longer part of our is no longer a friend of our family. The other person I feel like you should talk to your children about is when a house help leaves. When you fire a house help, or maybe they run away, make sure you talk to your children. Auntie so and so, or maybe if they used to call them by name, is no longer a part of this house, should not be allowed in this house, should not call you anywhere outside our compound, or maybe around. When they come around, they should not interact with that child, because you might ignore, and maybe this child was close to this person, and this person can simply take advantage of the fact that this child knows them. And that is how even you go about kidnapping, because the moment a person who has lived in your house for 1 year, 2 years, or even 3 months, this child knows this person. So the moment this person calls this child, a child is so innocent, hawajui hizo vitu zote zenye sisi tunajua. They'll just go, because huyu ni auntie so and so, huyu ni so and so, they used to live in our house, they used to laugh with my mom, she used to work for us, she used to shower, she used to help us take a bath. So that person is not a stranger. And we always teach children, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to so a person that is not a stranger to that child, of course akimuita ataenda. So the moment you fire a nanny, the moment a nanny decides that they are no longer part of your family, make sure you tell your children, tell them that person is no longer a part of your family, and should not call you, you should not go anywhere with that person. And if worse goes to worse, and maybe the child is alone somewhere, and this house help happens to call this child, tell your child to scream or run away, because some of these things we ignore are the same things that are happening to us, coming back to us. And there was this story I had of a child that was stabbed 17 times. And for a person to stab a child 17 times, that is an evil person. One time you can understand, and maybe he can, or maybe she can regret. But for this person to stab this child 1, 2, 3, 17 times, that person, I have no right words to use. I have no words to use for such a situation, for such a scenario, because this person can tell you they were so determined to do what they did. It was not a mistake. They were so determined to do what they were doing, and they knew what they wanted to do. Okay, so be very cautious when it comes to your children. Make sure you talk to them. Children understand. If you think they don't understand, tell them something. They understand. A child from 3 years understands a lot of things that you may ignore. They understand a lot of things. talk to them and tell them like so and so is no longer a part of our family, so and so is no longer my friend. And if you feel like you're not even safe introducing your friends to your children, just let it be. They're your friends, they are not your children's friends. So you can meet elsewhere, you can talk on phone, you can do all those things, but let them not get anywhere close to your children, because people are evil. Like I said, people nowadays are so evil. People are so evil nowadays. You cannot tell. And trusting people nowadays is just something that it's not easy for you to do. So if you feel you don't want to even go ahead and introduce your children to your friends, they're your friends. Like I said, they are not your children's friends. Let your children have their friends. Let you enjoy your company and your friends and your girlfriends and your boyfriends and your whatever and your boys. Let your children enjoy the company of their children. They are their age mates. Live just nowadays hata watu wanafanya functions kwa hoteli. People no longer visit home. It's just rare or very rare occasion that you find someone visiting someone at their home. We meet at hotels, coffee dates and all those things. Go home, do your business and just let people be. So that is what I wanted to share with you today, and I hope you're going to take caution. Kindly watch over your children. The enemy is just within. You might be shocked. The person who happened to have done something bad to your child is someone you trusted, someone you knew, someone you loved maybe, and it's so unfortunate that they are the ones who are doing all these evil things. So watch out for your children. Make sure you talk to them. Like I said, kids understand. Children know. They know. When you talk to them, they hear and they understand. As long as you talk to them in a language they are going to understand. Okay? So have yourself a beautiful week. I'll see you on my next one. Bye-bye.